Hello everyone, my name is Somdatta Bhattacharjee and I have been practicing history for some time now. I took history as my subject when I was exactly of your age, and my journey with history has been very interesting, and I took history as my major subject. So today I am here to discuss with you all about something about history, what history is all about, or how do we need to study history, and little bit about the course structure also. So history as a area of study fascinates me, but it does not fascinate me only because this is my subject, but definitely also because history really gives context and backbone to all the subjects I'm interested in. Inspired by E.H. Carr, and in his words, history is an unending dialogue between the past and the present, and we cannot agree to this more. So, if I am allowed to give you an example to make you realize how this entire study of history works, then I'll definitely would like to tell you to take a range of example. Like you may take up the example from football to rock music, or from politics to Netflix. Pick up any topic in this range, and everything, each of the things, and the smallest thing, the biggest thing, everything will definitely have its own story, will definitely have its own history to tell you. You just need to listen to it carefully. History and historical analysis comes in the supreme importance if you really care about being a Renaissance person, and if you are really interested to understand why human beings are here, what are they doing here, and many other things related to it. So, history helps us to understand the important intersection of time and space. Consider your first meeting with anyone, or consider how I started this conversation. So we start our conversation with questions such as where are you from, or since how many years you have been living there, where did you go to school, and many other things. So the role of history in defining who we are cannot be overstated. Whether you are talking to a friend, or applying for a job, or seeing a physician, everything starts with a history. So the same is very much true to the study of the subject also. Having an idea of the subject helps us to make sense of the ideas and concepts, like we are and how we got here. Now, after understanding what is history, let us now turn our attention to another topic, that is how to study history. And I would like to tell you that, like all the other subjects, you should not misread history. Because if you will misread history, then you will definitely end up with a lot of informations, like the name of various person, the acts that was done in the history, and the dates definitely. But for you, those are just very dry informations. No real cohesion is happening there, so you will not find history interesting. So next time when you pick up a history book, just read it like a novel. Read it without even worrying about the facts, that you need to remember the dates, you need to remember the events, or you are going to be examined on a particular fact. Read the book because you want to read it, you like to read it, not because you have to read it or you are told to read it. And then just see the magic. History will be so much more interesting than some dates, facts, events, years. History will be so much more enthusiastic to have you as one of its readers. And the real cohesion will be happening then. You will definitely understand which event is more important than the other, and why certain thing was happening in a certain way. So here I would like to tell you an anecdote. Few years ago, I went to a book fair here in our city only. I went to a book fair, and I went to a stall, and I was looking for White Mughals by William Dalrymple. But the Dada who was there at the bookstall, he did not have White Mughals. So instead of White Mughals, he offered me to buy Arvind Adhika's White Tiger. So after being offered to buy that book, I said, but I don't think these two books are same. Actually, I'm looking for White Mughals. Then he gave me a detailed discussion, or not discussion. He gave me the minute, very very cute, definitely lecture on this, and he said that Mughals were the tigers. They ruled our country like tigers, and tigers are as powerful as Mughals. So how does it matter whether you are getting or whether you are reading White Mughals or White Tiger? So this is the perfect example where the cohesion is not happening. So you definitely do not like to read history like that, right? Okay, so after discussing how do we need to study history, the next question you will definitely come across after having history as one of your subjects, that how do you remember so many dates? History is all about dates. So I definitely help you to reflect on that. Dates are definitely a part of history, but dates are not everything. Let me give you an example to make you understand. India was independent on 15th of August 1947. So the independence or the date of independence could have been easily either on 14th of August or 16th of August. So the date is quite accidental or incidental. The year is definitely more important than the date, because a lot of things were working in the background, and thus 1947 became the year. But here the most important attention should be attached to the century. So what was the century? The century was 20th century. So what was happening in the entire 20th century, starting from the partition of Bengal, the Swadeshi movement, then the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, then civil disobedience movement, then Quit India movement. So all these movements, all this mass participation of people in the freedom struggle and many other factors were definitely contributing and preparing the time and space so that India could get its independence, or India could get her independence on 15th of August 1947. So next time if somebody will say that history is all about dates, then just tell them that history is not all about dates. History is much more than the dates. Okay, so this is all about history. Is history all about dates or not? So now let us turn our attention little bit towards our course structure. So if you are going to take history as your first preference, then you will going to study history for 800 marks. The first 600 marks will be coming from your DSC paper, and the remaining 200 marks will be divided into 4 semesters, and the 4 semesters will have 50 marks paper each. So that way you have to appear for 800 marks history paper, and if you are going to take history as your second paper, then you will study history for 600 marks for the 6 semesters. So I hope my try to make you understand history, or my try to make history little more familiar and little more friendly to all of you will definitely have its impact. So I'm really looking forward to meet you all on all the offline classes, because let's have offline classes right now. Thank you.